payout.
A $1 minimum.
Big pool. Huge payout. First coast-to-coast pick 5. Every Friday through Sunday.
Welcome to the first coast-to-coast pick 5 seminar. And in Gino Bacola, we're going to just look back to last week. We've been doing this for, I guess, 3 weeks now, and the payouts have been terrific. And once again, each week we went over the White Barrio from Scotty and Seminar Skip a few weeks back. Last week we were all in love with the horse coming down the hill that the name escapes me now. That won for fun at
Venganza.
And then last week we made a big case, you and I, against the 1-5 Bob Baffert favorite who was in the sequence. So so far we've been doing all right, Gino.
Yeah, we caught the horse at Gulfstream was 17-1, I think, too. That 9 horse who came running. So just bobbing and weaving. Hopefully, we're helping some of you, find the right horses, lead you in the right direction. What I really like is I even got an alert that Gulfstream Park is now going to have a pick 5, like a middle pick 5 on some of their Saturdays. Same sort of thing, no CAW wagering. So they're starting to really push these wagers like that, which are great for folks like us who don't want to have to play against massive tickets and kind of computer software. So that'll be great. And it'll be interesting to see how these pools play. Now, with a little bit more sample size, are they still getting big enough pools to play into? These coast to coast are doing it because I think that's the key thing they're wanting to pump right now, that no computer wagering. This is one of those wagers where those folks get locked out and you get free past performances from DRF. This is as friendly of a wager as there's out there, this coast to coast, each and every week.
No doubt. And joining us after a week hiatus, who was on assignment, Scotty McKeever. Good morning or afternoon, Scotty. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, guys. Just been looking at this card. It's a great card. I think it's kind of tough, actually. I don't think it's easy. It's a sequence. I do like a horse tomorrow at Gulfstream Park, so we'll talk about that. But I'm looking forward to the races tomorrow. It's going to be a good bag of horses, and I think there's some prices to be had.
Prices to be had, as they have each and every week. The payout has been terrific, and hopefully tomorrow is his day, because tomorrow is his birthday. Joining us now, one of the many February birthdays, but tomorrow is the man. Your center stage, Seminar Skip. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, we don't count the birthdays anymore, buddy. We're getting up there, but feeling good. We're only as old as we feel, right?
At what point do they start doing the Benjamin Button where they go backwards? It's at some point, right?
For a couple of years now.
I was going to say, you hit that at inflection point where it's like, okay, now I stop. Now I'm going from 55 back down to 54, 53, 52. Like at some point around there,
Yeah. Age is but a number, right, Scotty? It doesn't matter. It's how you feel. I've seen a lot of people who act – well, I know we don't act anywhere near our age, but that's what's most important. All right, Gino, before we get started on the sequence, let's talk about what we got involved in the Pick 5 sequence tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be at Gulfstream Park for races 10 and 11, and then we'll be over at Santa Anita for races 4, 6, and 7. Remember, it's a $1 base wager, 15% takeout. If it carries over, it all carries over to the next day. And you get free daily racing form past performances if you just go to the DRF website. If you check out the posts that we are posting on social media, there'll be pages where you can click on the Friday PPs, the Saturday PPs. We'll be focused here on Saturday. A really good sequence here from Gulfstream and from Santa Anita. So let's get involved, man. We got some action, and I know we're gonna connect on one of these and hit for a big one, because these are the best things, I think. If you're playing on a limited budget and you only have a few different wagers, you can kind of focus in on each week. This is something I think you want to start out with as soon as that you know which races they are, and every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday now.
And hopefully we'll have some prices early. It looks like we might have we're certainly going to have a very heavy favorite to end the sequence. So Seminar Skip, you're the birthday boy. So let's get started with the first leg, which is race 10 at Gulfstream Park, mile and an eighth on the turf. What are your thoughts? Or excuse me, mile and a 16th. What are your thoughts here in leg 1?
I'm going to spread in here. I'm going to use a few. The one, Gilded Edge, is definitely going to be on my ticket. This horse comes off a short little break here, but the last time it broke from way outside the 11th post, kind of wide going in the first turn. After that, it didn't run like I thought it would have, but it wasn't because of the wide trip. But I think dropping down in class, moving to the inside, this horse, hasn't really, it's got 2 works in February. At 6-1, I got to use the 1. The 2, Princess Bettina, this horse used to race out here. And I tell you what, I caught it a couple times, and both were on the grass. And one of them was a favorite, but the other one was a decent price. I think it was coming down the hill. But I got to put the 2 on my ticket. Candy Gray, I was really impressed with her race last time, the 4 horse. She broke from the way outside, also went to the lead and held on gamely. This horse dug in, and I liked that win. That was a good time. Came back to work a few times. I like that one. My price horse is the 6, Violent Gibson. This horse is coming off a break. It likes the Gulfstream turf. Both wins have been on the turf course at Gulfstream Park. Sassy Joseph trains this horse. It's given a mount to the Bug Boy here, but I like the price at 15-1. It seems to be like there's a couple horses that could go to the front, and I think this horse might get a good trip, and I love the 15-1. So I got to use the 6, and then I'm going to put 2 other ones in here. I'm going to put Eastern Empress, the 11. Christophe Clement trains this horse. Very sharp, won 2 in a row back in June and July. Joel Rosario jumps aboard. And this horse, last time, it was a good race, but the thing that I didn't really like, it didn't switch leads. But this horse is bred to be a good one. And it is sharp, coming off the break. I like the workout pattern in the morning. And then the last one is going to be the other Christophe Clement. He takes over the training from Brian Lynch. Dylan Davis jumps aboard. I'm glad this horse is going back on the turf. I know the turf and the Tapeta synthetic is very similar, but I think this horse prefers the turf horse. So I'm spreading, as you know, 1, 2, 4, 6, 11, and 12 in here.
All right, so Spreadsville for Skip in leg 1. Scotty, how do you see the 10th at Gulfstream?
Guys, I know a lot about Candy Gray, the 4 horse. I tried to buy her at the sale and at the OBS sale, and she is just a stunning animal, and she's got a foot issue, and that's all this is. If she's doing well and she seems to be training well, I don't have any personal information, but the clockers seem to like her, and she ran good off that layoff last time out. And there's just a lot of issues with this group, and she's at a different level than these. As long as her foot is okay, she's just a player. She's the horse to beat by far. It looks like she's coming into this race good. She, like Skip said, she went from the 11 post last time out and ran like that off the layoff. I mean, that's not an easy feat to do that. And she's drawing inside here. She really can be placed anywhere. She's tactical, but she doesn't have to be close. She can come from behind. She's a player. I'm singling her and hoping that her foot issue is behind her.
Not an easy feat, no pun intended, to the foot issue there with Sandy Gray. So that's a little good inside info there, Gino, with the single there. I like it being aggressive, but Scotty knows this horse. And what are your thoughts? Does that change anything for you?
Don't quit your day job over there, comedian. I was going to say I think major player there for sure, Candy Gray. I will use Princess Bettina. I think 12 to the outside also makes a lot of sense. Hello Hollywood. But the one that's sneaky in here that won't be on a lot of people's tickets, the number 3, Starship Agenda. So, you look at first glance and the overall form kind of, you probably glance at, and I think a lot of people will move right by this horse. But isolate her 4 turf races. 2 of them were followed by long layoffs. I think 2 of them are races that you can completely toss and excuse. And one of them was going 5 furlongs in the debut. That leaves one other race. When she finished second in a really similar spot with an 83 Beyer speed figure, which would be actually one of the better in this field and would make her really competitive. I think she's just kind of sneaky there. She's going to go second start back now after a long layoff. She was off from May to January, so she needed that race off 8 months. There's only 2 horses in here who have actually run a faster speed figure on the turf. And there are absolutely versions of this race where maybe Candy Gray has to get pushed a little bit too hard by horses like 19 Amendment, who has some speed. Could even see 1 or 2 others in here flashing speed. So versions of this race where they go quick, this horse could actually get a really nice trip come closing late. will be dismissed by a lot of people at a big price. I think the form's a little muddied up. The number 3 Starship Agenda.
All right, so spreads filled for Skip. Gino adding the 3. Scotty singling the 4. Hopefully the foot issues are behind. And let's move on to race 4 at Santa Anita, which would be their second leg. Scotty, we're going a mile on the turf here. What are your thoughts in leg 2?
I think it's a 2-horse race between the 2 Earn Not Given and Dino Dave, the 5-horse for Chuck Treese. The horse ran a good race last time, breaking its maiden. California bred, 3-year-old colt, and it hasn't been seen since November. But and I like the time off. The horse seems to be training fine, and that was a nice effort. The horse has our top GSR, our new GSR, by about 9 points too. So that's pretty significant. And so I like Dino Dave. Earn Not Given has a really good win percentage. Is even money on the Equinedge morning line, and not easy to run that good after just breaking your maiden, the 50,000 claimer in that optional claiming 50, now is a 2 lifetime, and it only lost by half a length. And this will be the 3rd start off a layoff. Victor Espinoza is aboard for Mark Glatt, who's doing very, very well right now. So I don't think there's anybody else in this race. I looked at the 3; it's a factor. I don't think he actually is a factor. So I'm only using the 2 and the 6. The Checks on the Way. I know that the horse broke its maiden last time out, but it barely broke it. And I think that horse is going to have a tough time winning this race. So I'm only using 2 and 5.
I am doing the Town Quigley seminar tomorrow, and I am 5-2. So I'm right along with you there. That horse coming off, if you go back and watch that replay, that was very interesting. The horse kind of ducked down to the inside, won quite easily. First time Lasix now, and showed a good turn of foot. I think this horse has got some upside as a 3-year-old. So I'm with you there. I am just 5-2. Gino, your thoughts here in the second leg?
Wish I had anything to add. It would only be the 6 as a horse who could maybe be flashing some speed, but I do think there's enough other speed in here that would probably push the 6 and make vulnerable. So yeah, I mean, I thought the 5 was pretty solid. That was a wicked beat for the 2. If you backed Earn Not Given last time out, just a brutal bob there on the wire. So yep, can't really get too much more creative than that in here.
Skippo, anything to add?
I'm singling the 2. I really like the 2. You know, the 5 I see, and I watched that replay. It was very good, but the workout pattern scares me here. December 31st, January 7th, January 14th, then no works till February 1st. So I don't know. Coming off the break, this horse might be a little bit short. I don't know. That scares me a little bit. So I'm going to single the 2.
Got it.
And Scotty, your horse Checks on the Way. That was your 20-1 a few, when was it? Back in January 18th, you liked this horse.
Yep. I know, $20 horse there. Yeah, I remember. I just think, that was a different group than this is.
Right.
And that's a really good point too that I actually missed, Skip. I think you're right about that. There are some gaps in these works, and maybe the horse will be a little bit short, and maybe you should focus more on Earn Not Given. That's certainly a possibility that I'll look at a little bit closer because of that information. But I don't think Checks on the Way is going to be competitive here, though. I like Simon Callahan. And you never know. At least the horse did beat 11 other horses for sure. But this is a tougher group. And you got to remember, too, guys, this horse actually did that on the dirt going 6 furlongs. On the turf, the horse has not run good. I'm talking about Checks on the Way. So, and that was a much easier group, too, dropping in for a tag in that last race. So I think that the 2 and the 5, it's those 2.
They're both kind of deep closers. The one thing, the gaps in the work, and maybe I'm wrong here, don't scare me as much, especially for turf horses, because they just sit and make that one run like Dino Dave does instead of running hard the whole way. And with Earn Not Given, I hate to say this on here, but with Victor up, sometimes from far behind, sometimes they tend to go wide and not pick a hole. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, so let's move on to Gulfstream Park, and that would be race 11. That would be our third leg, the Royal Delta, which is the grade 3. Gino, your thoughts here?
Yeah, mile and a 16th on the dirt. A couple horses to me that were pretty interesting. So the 8 Grand Job is the one to beat. This is kind of the Bill Mott now horse, but he is stretching her out. So she's going to have to go farther than she's ever been before. I mean, she looks really good on paper, but that's something that she'll certainly have to deal with. The one to me that I like is the number 10 Autumn Evening. You look, she's never been a mile in a 16th, but she's been a mile twice. Both of them were victories. You start diving into the horses that she's faced. She's stakes placed. She's 2 races against Graded Stakes Company. I honestly think she just faced better horses in those races. She finished 4th in both of them. Wasn't like she got completely trounced in those races. She was behind Emery, Mystic Lake. They both came back and were in the Grade 2 Inside Information a couple weeks ago on the Pegasus undercard. I think they were the 1-2 finishers of that race. Emery was really wide all the way around. Can't Hurry Love is a really nice New York bred. Dazzling Blue came back and was 2nd in the Minaret at Tampa Bay Downs with an 87 buyer. Ain't Broke has hit into the 90 buyer speed figures. I just like what I've seen recently from Autumn Evening too. She's kind of lightly raced in this field, and a lot of the others in here kind of know what they are, and they've kind of been beaten a few times here and there in spots where I'm concerned about. I think Autumn Evening has a lot of upside. So the top 2 for me and horses who I'll probably build a lot around the 8 and the 10.
8 and 10 for you, Skipper. What do you think about this Grade 3 here at Gulfstream and Leg 3?
I'm going to go the outside. I'm nervous because a few of these horses are stretching out for the first time. They haven't been the 2 turns. I'm sure they could do it. Otherwise, the trainers wouldn't put them in there. But to me, it looks like there's a lot of speed. I know Grand Job might be the quickest of the quick, going 22, 44, and 3. But there's other horses that can put pressure on this horse. So I'm going to use the 7, Dazzling Move. This horse has speed, has some tactical speed. Sassy Joseph takes over the training, has a win at Gulfstream Park. Dylan Davis is aboard at 9-2. I'm going to put the 7. Grand Job, you got to use the horse. So now horse, Bill Mott, very sharp, 1 by 6 and 8 1/4 lengths. A couple of my closers I'm going to use is Miss New York at 10-1. This horse is shipping in from Laurel Park. Delgado trains this horse. I think it could get a good trip. If they start going fast up front, especially with a few of these that have never been around the 2 turns, I think at 10-1 has a big shot. Autumn Evening for what Gino said. And then my last one will be the 11, Neon Icon. I don't like the workout pattern as we just went over the last race. November 24th, December 24th, January 15th, January 30th, February 7th. Couple works seem to be missing in there, but this is the class of the field. This horse will be coming from off the pace, and with all the speed at 6-1, I have to use it with Rosario board. So I'm going 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Scotty, now he's all outside, and I think we've talked about this a little bit more, but Gulfstream more than we do as far as where they start in this spot. Is that compromising the outside posts, and that worry you a little bit there?
Let me run the race simulator to the first call. So it does look like the 11 horse and the 10 are going to end up being wide. The 9's going to be wide. 8 horse might even be on the lead. So I'm not worried about the 8 Grand Job. It's this horse is moving up in class for Bill Mott. It's had a layoff. Bill Mott's very conservative. Clearly this horse is really nice. I wanted to like the 10 so badly. But I think at this level, I'm not sure this horse wants this distance of 8.5 furlongs. That's my only concern, because this horse has a winning profile. In fact, it's our top win percentage in the race. So, but as far as the outside horses, I think the one that I would like the best would be the 8 horse Grand Job. The other ones are going to get carried out wide in the first turn.
Yeah, it looks like the 8 has plenty of speed to clear there. All right, let's move on to race 6 at Santa Anita, which is the 4th leg. And I believe, who are we starting with this time? Who do we just start with? Skip. So, Scotty, to you, race 6, Santa Anita. We're going a mile on the turf once again, $25,000 claimers. What are your thoughts here?
Well, Annie's Joy is our top pick, but this one's just burnt so much money. I just couldn't get down with this one. Mike Smith is aboard, so I'm a little concerned with this one. I'm looking at our GSRs right now. to see. And Elegant Sway is a horse. It's our Equinedge long shot that is one that it's almost a vertical line on the race simulator. I'm running it right now, guys. And so for that reason, and the money that the 2-horse Annie's Joy has burned, I think I hadn't really settled in on a horse, but the more I'm looking at this, I think I'm going to take a chance on Elegant Sway, the 1-horse Kyle Frey and Victor Trujillo.
All right, so Scotty kind of hones in on the 1 Elegant Sway at 6. I thought this is a very tough race, Gino, and might do a little spreading here. What are your thoughts in this leg? And by the way, we should be on the turf tomorrow. We got a ton of rain yesterday, just so everyone knows. I mean, it came down in buckets all day long. Luckily, today's card, thinking ahead, all dirt races, and when you
it warmed up pretty well too.
Yeah,
like,
and we had the sun's been out and it was windy, so I think that's going to help. So I think we should be good on the turf, but we do not know. We really got a lot of rain yesterday, so obviously all these we're talking about turf racing, and fingers crossed we're good on the turf. Gino,
the way that I'm going to kind of approach this, I think Annie's Joy and Big Mama Sue, they're the 2 horses to beat. They're not really fun or exciting from a price standpoint, but they're the horses to beat. I think there are 2 kind of fun long shots that I wanted to mention in here. First up, Dendera, the number 3. So, I mean, we know this mare, she's been around on the circuit for a while, but really, if you look at her races going a mile on the turf, this is where she's been the most consistent and where she's been best. Just go right back to her last time going a mile on the turf. She was in a first level allowance optional 20, and she finished 3rd in that race. Moment's Pleasure is a Calbred Stakes winner. You see at the bottom of the page, she's not far behind Mahina, who is now in graded stakes races going long. So she's kept company with some really nice horses going a mile on the turf course. I think she fits really well at a mile on the turf. The blinkers come off. Remember, she used to be like a really deep closer too, with like no early speed. And as she's gotten a little older, she started to show a lot more positional speed and just kind of versatility to her. So she's sneaky to me. And then the other one I thought was the 5 here, who Tis Now Mama, who's dropping in for a career low. I mean, this is a horse who's just lightly raced, and the only turf race came after, a year and a half layoff? So it's really tough to use that as a gauge. More than that, almost 2 years, from October of 2022 to August of 2024, then comes back as 5th on the turf and actually not beaten all that poorly that day. Following that, you see, runs into a horse named Cavallari, who is 3 for 3, the grade 3 La Cunada winner. 3rd place finisher in that race was Accuracy. All she did coming out of that was win her next race by 15 lengths with 107 Beyer speed figure. Then she won her next start, a first level allowance, by 7+ with a 95 Beyer speed figure. Those races, she was a little bit overmatched. She goes up to Pleasanton in a softer group. She airs going a mile on the dirt. So we know distance isn't a problem as she now drops second start off the bench back to the grass. I think there are some things here, especially because she's just going to be a big price. Those 2 short prices, as Scotty was pointing out, like with Annie's Joy, they're going to take a lot of money. And sure, they're the more logical winners in this race, but do you want to take short prices on horses that haven't been all that trustworthy? I think there are a couple fun long shots to include at least.
Yeah, that's the only reason I would add the 8 in there as well, just because that horse is a 4-time winner going a mile, and 4-1 JJ up. I thought that horse is a little bit interesting. Not much more to add from there. Skipper, your thoughts?
I'm going to single the 2. I know that she's not trustworthy, but this is the easiest spot she's ever ran in before. The dropping down in class, I think it'll get a good trip. She's got speed, some tactical speed. She has that all-important win over the San Anita turf course. She didn't run too bad back at Del Mar. Rashmi is that Jonathan Thomas horse. That race wasn't bad. Last time, I don't know what happened. I'm hoping the drop in class will just do the trick. So I'm going to, the 7's the other horse, and Gino made a good point on the 5, I thought. But I'm going to take a stand, and I'm going to single the 2 Annie's Joy in here.
All right, so Skip singling Annie's Joy in here. And now we get to the final leg, the grade 3 Palos Verdes. Big City Lights draws the rail here, Gino, and it's going to be what, 1 to 9?
You don't see the 2 to 5 all too often on the morning line, right?
No.
Yeah. And
this didn't come up the toughest grade 3 in the world either.
No, but what I'll say is it kind of looks like it's him, certainly the most proven when you're looking at resume and speed figures and everything. He won this race last year. He's never been worse than third in 13 starts. He has 6 losses, and 4 of them are to the Chosen Vaughn, who's a 19-time winner and a grade 1 winner, along with one of the best Calbreds ever. So his resume, very, very good. But he does draw the rail in here. And even in his last start, once he put the field away, he drew off. He did have to work a little bit. I think the next tier of horses in here are a little bit intriguing to me. The ones that I would be looking at would be the 3 and the 4. Roll on Big Joe. They're kind of the lightly raced horses with a little bit of upside. And then Bartholdi, who what I really like about Bartholdi being drawn to the outside of these speed horses, he showed us that he could sit a little bit if he has to. So to me, I'm going to probably go 4 and 1 and use the 2 of them and hope that Bartholdi can be sitting close. I think Big City Lights won't be too far out of it. Might even have a ticket with Roll On Big Joe, because that was a pretty good effort. If you watch that race, he looked like he had every reason to stop. And it looked like For All Mankind was getting the perfect setup and was going to be able to go right by. And Roll On Big Joe really did kind of kick on. You look, 4 starts back, he's second behind Straight No Chaser, your Breeders' Cup Sprint winner. It's a pretty good effort there. So Big City Lights, for me, definitely the horse I respect to beat. I thought that you could maybe use 2 different horses in here to give you a little bit of value in Roll On Big Joe and Bartholdi.
Yeah, a couple horses seem to be getting better at the right time. And I guess the rail draw would be the one thing that might give you a cause for pause a little bit on the big favorite. Skip, what are your thoughts in here? Can anybody beat Big City Lights?
I'm going to try. That's why I singled Annie's Joy. If this horse was drawn outside, I might think differently. But since it's drawn on the rail with other speed drawn outside of it, I know this horse could sit, but I don't know. At 2 to 5, I try to beat these. Sometimes you can and get lucky, and I'm hoping we can here. Hopefully I'm alive going in. And I'm going to use the 3, Roll On Big Joe. I really like that last win. This horse has been in sharp form. Bartholdi, I have to use. I like this horse. Love Santa Anita. I'm going to put the 2 in also, the Doug O'Neill, Anarchist. This horse is coming off a break, but boy, this horse has got some back class, not real big on winning. 15 starts, 3 wins, 7 seconds. But boy, this horse ran huge to Elite Power not last year, but 2 years ago, Breeders' Cup Sprint winner. I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4 in here and hope that I'll be alive and I can beat the 1 Big City Lights, the heavy chalk.
Well, if you like Anarchist, then you're going to like Entressa in race 8. It's Santa Anita, first-time starter, who outworked Anarchist last work on XBTV. Anarchist didn't change leads, but I don't think Anarchist ever changes leads. So, but very interesting. What are your thoughts here, Scott? I thought maybe the 6 had a little bit of a chance if they roll early, because there could be some other speed in here. That was the other. I was kind of either single or 1, 3, 4, 6. I'm against Anarchist, but Scotty, what are your thoughts?
So Big City Lights is, guys, this horse has 7 layoff lines in 13 races, and before the last win in the Cal Cup Sprint, the horse had 4 straight layoff lines. But wow, I mean, this is a man amongst boys. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Like, it's a 6-year-old with 13 lifetime races, 7 wins, 4 seconds, and 2/3. With all those layoff lines, 7 of them in total, this horse has never been out of the money. And that last non-graded stakes race, guys, that state bred, this is maybe one of the has one of the highest GSRs, our breeding metric, of any Calbred I've ever seen. And this horse is not gelded. This is in my mind, this horse wins by 8-9 lengths easy. I don't even think it's a race.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I was going to play a small ticket just as a backup, but I think this is not a tough field. And the rail draw is the only thing that even concerns me whatsoever.
But it is a lot tougher than the last 2 fields he faced.
True.
Both. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing. Like he's been beating up on a lot softer than this. Like that last group was not very good, like quite a bit at all. So that would be my only concern in the rail. Like he is certainly the horse to beat, but this is a better group than what he's been facing.
Yeah. And if you do beat him, then you cash, right? I mean, that's going to be
Absolutely.
Look, you could get all mid-price sources in the and if you happen to beat Big City Lights, who probably wins by 5, but you never know.
Guys,
That's why.
Clovis Connection. Sorry to interrupt you, but Clovis Connection, who comes out of that race with Big City Lights, that horse has only won 440,000 with 11 wins in 17 lifetime races against some nice horses and doing it.
But they're all Calbred though. Like he's very nice.
That's fair.
Yeah, they're all Calbred though. Yeah.
Clovis Connection actually has been beating up on some open company as well. But I'm just saying that horse, the Clovis Connection in this race would be 3 to 5 or 4 to 5 as well. So there's nobody in this race that's as good as Clovis Connection. So I personally think that
I disagree on that. Yeah, that's where we like feel a little different. I just don't that group and right now that horse hasn't been in the best quite as good and been facing quite as good kind of smaller fields up there. Like I do think this next there between a horse like Anarchist who has done some more in the past, like that horse is more accomplished than a lot of those other ones. And then I think the next tier of runners are like up and comers that could take a jump up. So this is a little bit more difficult, I think, but that's what's great about racing.
I got to make an argument on this, and I love this conversation. But when you look at Anarchist, he's done nothing in 2024, 3 lifetime races.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not using Anarchist at all. I'm saying what he's done is more than like his 2023, where he was a multiple graded stakes winner and he finished in the money in 8 of 8. That's better than like what anyone in this field or the last field has done, but he's just not in his best form right now is what I was pointing out.
But Gino, you can't even compare Bartholdi. You like, and I thought Bartholdi was a nice long shot. You can't even compare that horse to the likes of Clovis Connection, who was in the last race with Big City Lights. They're not even comparable. Like this is a horse that just barely won a non-winners of 2 lifetime. And in comparison to Clovis Connection has won $440,000 and 11 wins. That's the only point I'm trying to make. Like you can get caught up in looking at this, but if you look at these horses in this, and Anarchist hasn't done anything, then what else is there? There's nothing there. Big City Lights over under 7 lengths in hand, guaranteed.
Yeah, I like it. We're going beer game over under 7.5. That's it. Beer game locked in. All right. So we have racing on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. First post 12:30 every single day. Saturday we have the dumpling event on the apron. Sunday the corgis are here. As we know, we get quite a few people out here for the corgis. They're great to watch. And then Monday is Dollar Day. So Gino, kind of fill us in on everything. I just mentioned a little bit of it. Everything going on for the next 3 days to wrap us up.
Yeah, there's also the $500 Santa Anita Challenge tomorrow that you can play on track. You can play at Express Bet. You could win NHC seats. That's coming up. That's all in just about a month or so from right now, I think, is the NHC weekend. And then the Pick'em contest, pick'em.santanita.com. We have some college basketball this weekend. I think one of the Sunday questions was about Juju Watkins, and I don't know if anybody saw last night. She had an awesome game. She scored 38 and they beat undefeated UCLA, which was a really cool game. So WNBA has been great. Women's college has been great. So we're going to get some of those, I think, in the pick-em mix as well.
Can I give you a hot take on Juju Watkins?
Yep.
She's not as good as Hannah Hidalgo, who plays for Notre Dame.
Okay.
Watch a game. Watch one of the games. They already played each other, by the way, and Notre Dame whooped them, but that was only one game. Anyways, we won't get into women's basketball. Go ahead, Skip.
Do you have USA Canada on there by chance? They play tomorrow. It's the biggest game. It's on my birthday. I can't wait for this game. Go Team
we
USA.
didn't put that on. No. That's
no. And, the NBA All-Star Weekend is this weekend, and it's just not nearly as good as it used to be, right? Like they used to be a little bit more of an event and kind of fun, but there are a couple, I think, NBA All-Star questions on there. And a lot of college stuff, and then questions about the races on Saturday and Sunday. Remember, $500 to the winner, totally free to enter. Best way to build up your bankroll there.
Skip's a hockey man. Come on, he wants to see some brawls.
And Chappie, your birthday is on Tuesday, buddy. Don't forget about that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Tuesday. All right. Well, good luck to everybody tomorrow. Scotty, real quick, tell us about Equine Edge. What's going on in the next few days? What's happening with that?
We're looking forward to the NHC. We are releasing a new format on our site where we our handy view, which is our past performances. You're going to be able to scroll without having to click on tabs. You're going to be able to see all the information. We've added 50 new trainer stats. We've added just multiple things. It's like 100 new line items. We're going to have past performances, race replays on the site are going to be there. We're going to have live streaming with all, approved tracks. Of course, the Stronach Group, all approved. And so we're going to have that. So it's going to really upgrade the site. So thanks for asking. I appreciate that.
No problem. Gino, that's what G said. Give us a little preview of what you got going on. You've always got a million things happening.
Fairgrounds tomorrow. Fairgrounds has the Risen Star, all graded stakes late pick 4 sequence there. So we went over, Barry Spears joined me. We took a look at the late pick 5 sequence there. We'll be hanging out. I'm also going to put a pick 5 for Gulfstream, as I pointed out tomorrow. They're going to start having the like a middle pick 5 on days when they have 11 or 12 races. And it's going to start in race 3, and it's going to be another pick 5 where they don't allow the CAW age rate. So you know what? I like that the places are starting to give out those more player-friendly opportunities. What we have to do as bettors, we ask for stuff like that. When they give it to us, we got to go in and we got to show them and support those wagers.
And join Skip and I tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is his actual birthday on the Morning Line Sports Show at 8 a.m., AM 8:30. And I will be Tom Quigley's guest tomorrow if you're on track at Santa Anita. And everybody, good luck. We appreciate your time. And guys, we'll see you next week. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck.
Good luck.